Is there a cheater on the Onewheel leaderboard? I did a 30K Q&A with the one and only Javier Starks. We'll discuss the leaderboard and so much more. Let's get into it.
Yo, what it do? It's your boy Jay Starks, the Onewheel Wing, baby. #1 in the world for mileage on the Onewheel XR. Checking in here at the Lincoln Memorial. As you can see, incredible monument in the background. The views are top notch, unmatched. But last time we checked in, I had what, 17K? 17,000 miles? Nearly doubled that since then. Life is good. So we here, back to answer some more questions. Keep it 100, you know how I do.
First question comes from Dale Martin. Shout outs to Dale. What are the top 5 things you want to see in a new Onewheel?
Woo!
Top 5 wish list.
I have not thought about those. In no particular order, top 5 things I like to see. Some system that would allow me to check my PSI without connecting a bike pump. A system for changing and maybe adjusting lights. So if you could have lights that have like a wide range or like a focused vision for further riding at night. A swappable battery would be amazing. You could swap out your battery on the go. That'd be fire, yo. I really liked how I saw a set of rails that had holes in it on the rails that you can access the inner hub bolts. I know it's something simple, but I'm a really techie guy when it comes to my board since I do a lot of repairs myself. I know everyone wants more speed. I don't know if people can handle more speed. We're not responsible enough to take the blame for our own crashes. 5th feature. I don't know, I have to think about that. That's tough, man. That's tough. More range?
Whoa.
More range, a bigger battery?
There you go. I'm gonna put a vote in for more point of sale options for customizing the board.
What do you mean?
As you buy it, you could choose a Burris SS11.
Oh, heck yeah, that would be fire. I mean, I'd like to have them start off with a tire that I have to, but anyway.
Yeah, a Onewheel wing tire would be dope.
Heck yeah. Ooh.
What's another city in another country you would love to ride a Onewheel through?
I'd love to ride my Onewheel through Japan. Ooh. Whether rural or like Tokyo or like the heart of it. I just want to ride, like, cause I've seen these one clips from this one Instagram account, which is like Onewheel Japan or something like that. And like, he's got these mountain, temple, trail, gravel vibe scenes. But also I know the city would just be dope too. It's pretty packed there, but I mean, I don't know. But Japan is dope. You know, I watch a lot of anime. That's my vibe.
Any tricks you want to master that you haven't mastered yet?
Backside tail slide. So like instead of approaching the rail like this, you approach the rail like this and slide on it like that. But then come back off to regular.
Yeah.
So I'm working on it. That and maybe 360 body varials. Like, I like that trick a lot. I like the way that it looks. I'm not like inspired to really work on it, if that makes sense. It's like, I think it's cool when I see it, but then when I go to work on tricks, I never think like, yo, let me master that. I'm like, eh. But backside tail slides are fresh. I like that. Oh! Almost. One more. That's actually like the 3rd time that this happened today. Ooh. Oh, 1540. Ooh. All right, I gave y'all enough. I'm not perfect.
New helmet this time?
Hey.
Yo, that's fresh. I feel like wing fashion, that's part of the brand a little bit.
Definitely.
Tell me about that.
The first helmet, when I got that helmet, I remember specifically people saying, it's too colorful. I was like, exactly. Because you know, you got what is expected of a male, got a black helmet with the black lines and I got one of those. That was my 3rd helmet. But I wanted to do something different. And every time I get a new helmet, it's generally because I feel like I reached a point where the brand should be reborn. And continued in a new way. When we talk about being fly, because that's what Wing is about, being fly, being fresh, fly in the hip hop sense, like stylish, you know? What I try to do, I try to keep it stylish. So when I say my brand being reborn, not necessarily anything changed, but just keeping the look fresh, you know? Helmet included. The first helmet, however, was like my learning helmet. I had some real big crashes in that helmet. That one needed to be replaced for safety reasons. So a question that was asked was, how often do I crash? And I say, in terms of like big crashes, like smacking the ground 20 plus miles an hour, oh man, that's rare. That doesn't really happen so much anymore. But I say I hit a big crash once every 3 months, something like that. I'll get cocky and I'll try something. My last crash was because I hit a warped section in the street. I wasn't even going fast. That was probably my worst crash ever, actually. I was probably only going like 7 to 10 miles an hour and popped off the board in such a way that I came down on my tail, like right on my butt cheek, bruh. I stood up. I was lightheaded. My vision was starting to get blurry. Bruce was like, oh, you probably had a concussion.
Did you hit your head though, or?
I did, actually.
Okay.
There were marks on the helmet, but I mean, when it's a full-face motorcycle helmet, impact like that is not something you really feel.
Right.
And that's the beauty of it. That's the whole point. Someone crashed on our last group ride, actually, and they were wearing a helmet. And they smacked their face. And I was like, but we leave it at that. Ooh, I love the gravel. It's so playful.
Let's talk about the leaderboard a little bit.
Oh, yes. Let us talk about the leaderboard.
Where are you at right now? 30K has been like, it's been a month, right? Like it's close.
It's been close to a month, yeah. The last 2-3 weeks, I've been having issues with my battery. So I haven't been riding. Some days 4 to 10 miles, 20-ish, 25 miles at most. I'm used to riding on average like 15, 16 mile loops. And I went for a ride one day and my board died at 8 miles in. And after that, I was like, yo, I can't be doing my standard route anymore because I'm not trying to get stranded anywhere. So leaderboard, I'm at 30K. I have been there for a while now. It is kind of sad when you can't ride. But what's worse, the more saddening thing is to see other people who you know ride faithfully, not in the position that they deserve to be. And the thing that bothers me the most about it is that, like, what do you get out of lying? What do you get out of sitting your one wheel on something and letting it run while you're not home? And people are like, well, how do you know? In any sport where you do something faithfully, you know how much work it takes to accomplish a certain goal. So what you got is somebody, a married man, father of 2, works a full-time job, telling me about how he can easily ride 10 miles in 15 or 20 minutes.
What?
And when you do the math, you'd have to be riding 30 miles an hour from the very start to the very finish. Now, someone messaged me, someone that knew them, were like, hey, you're bullying this guy. And I'm like, yo, I wouldn't even be talking about this person if they hadn't been messaging me long since before they reached leaderboard. They were messaging me like, hey, I'm on my way up, I'm coming. I'm like, that's cool, bro, because I know what I'm capable of. I tested myself. I rode 400 miles in 5 days. I don't know nobody who's doing that. Now, if there's someone else who could do that, by all means do it. But I did that and I was not tired, sore. I could do that endlessly if I need to. So I'm not personally worried about getting cheated out of my slot by someone who's doing this. But it's just that people will compare you to that person. You know, they're like, oh yeah, well you ride a lot, but so does so-and-so. It's like, nah, they don't. Otherwise they wouldn't be saying the stuff that they're saying, doing the stuff that they're doing. And I was talking with Future Motion about it, about just making it so that you shouldn't even have the option of sitting at home and running your board on something stationary and being able to place on leaderboard. At least for the top 10, you can't regulate the whole world. Yeah, but when you get to the point where you're claiming that you're riding more than everyone else in the world, you should have to back it up. There should be some facts behind it, some proof behind it. When people come to DC and they ride with me, the proof is in the pudding here. But if you look at other people who claim to have ridden 20,000 miles and their posts on their Instagram, well, they don't even have an Instagram because they don't shoot videos. Have you ever heard of anyone who's ridden 10,000, 20,000, even just 1,000 miles and never filmed themselves riding their one wheel once? That's unheard of to me. I'm sure there are people who doubted that I was really riding as much as I'm riding, but you see the stuff I do on the weekends, on my free time, not great, simplistic tricks. I'm doing cross leg jumps off the ramp, switch back midair. I haven't seen anyone do that, but whatever.
Speaking of FM, I mean, I guess your relationship with them since 17K is different.
Talking about my relationship with Future Motion?
Yeah, since the 17K video, we talked about sponsorships and all the rest.
Oh yeah!
What's different about that?
We did! People were asking me if I wanted to be sponsored by FM, and I was like, I don't care at this point. I mean, that's just because I'm a headstrong person. If I have faith that I'm gonna accomplish something, I'm gonna accomplish something regardless of who's in the picture. So when some people are like, why'd you move away from certain sponsors? Well, that's because certain people weren't keeping their end of the bargain, you know? So I move away from situations that don't totally benefit or feel like they're what we agreed that they were gonna be, you know? No hard feelings, anything like that, no bad blood. It's just not what it was supposed to be, so it's not nothing to me. So as things progressed after that video, I would develop a relationship with FM where they were like, yo, we wanna support you. Well, I never had any beef with FM to begin with, but if they're like, hey, we wanna support you, what would I look like saying, no, I don't want your support. No, I need your support. I break stuff all the time. I need the support. My sponsors are dope. People like Bob Stokes Shop. When I broke my rails, he was like, yo, I can have a set of rails in the mail for you tomorrow. When he sees that my tires are worn, he used to just be like, oh yeah, I already got a tire and here's the tracking number. He will already be sending it to me before I even ask for it. That's what a sponsor should do. They should be checking in because me being successful is their brand being successful. Then Burris has been taking care of me for a while. They've been sending me tires, priceless. People always ask how many tires in 30,000 miles. Well, I average about 1,700 to 1,800 miles per tire. Rarely do I get more than 2,000, usually less. And then there's occasions where you leave your house after third day of having a brand new tire on and you get a flat by running over a nail on the construction site. That's happened a few times actually. So I'd say I'm somewhere in like 16 to 18 tires in. Lots of tires. So I picked the slick over the treaded any day because I get more miles on the slick tire. Also because I just like the softness of the SS11 tire. It's so spongy. Like I ride very firm. I ride 27 PSI. I weigh 190 pounds. So my tire is like a rock. To me, when we look at PSI, when I equate that to skateboarding, the higher the PSI, the looser your trucks would be on a skateboard. And the looser your trucks are, the more skilled you become in riding that. So when you see extremely skilled riders like Daewon Song, who is arguably one of the most skilled tech riders in the world, his trucks wobble like this. The trucks aren't doing the support, he's balancing it. So my tire is really wobbly. Like when people see me do the tricks, I'm not riding on some squishy tire that's helping keep me balanced or conforming to the land. It's doing the opposite. If you want to challenge yourself as a rider, pump the PSI up. Turn it up. Biker, jogger.
I see him. Thank you.
Teamwork. Woo! 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 Psych. Just kidding.
Still having fun. 30,000 miles.
Of course, man. It's still beautiful. Someone was talking about the pint turning radius in the XR turning radius. I mean, I don't know how much tighter I need to turn. I mean, that's just me though. That's just me. I can turn pretty sharp, but the pint is dope though. I'm not out here suggesting that the pint doesn't have its advantages. The pint, in theory, should be able to turn sharper, in theory. Do I need it to turn sharper than that? I don't know, maybe you might have some fetish for sharp turns. You get your kicks from sharp turns. If that's you, stick to the pint, player. Yeah, man. Still having fun, man. Every ride, still enjoyable.
Only because someone asked every video, the shoes.
These shoes are the Nike SF Air Force Ones. Bruh, they are just so freaking comfortable. Like, when I didn't have these, because I wear them out, you know, after a while, the insoles, they kind of get worn into and they don't feel the same. And then your feet start hurting. My feet start hurting when riding 20, 30 plus miles. I didn't have a pair for a while because they're expensive. They're like almost probably close to $300 every time I buy a pair. You get what you pay for. When people think we're like, there's so much for a shoe. You gotta keep in mind, I'm on my feet. When I ride 100 mile a day, I'm on my one wheel. On my one wheel alone, 7 to 8 hours, you know? So that doesn't include the other stuff that I'm doing in the meantime. Oh, the homies up here. I'm big on the shoes because they're real comfortable, man. They make my feet feel good. I had a pair of like regular Air Force Ones, and they hurt to ride in. I mean, I can still ride miles, but they hurt, you know? These don't hurt.
You skateboarded before you one wheel.
I did. Oh, is that switch? No, he's going for a heel flip. Oh, it's one frontside flip. Frontside flip. That switch? Oh, switch frontside flip. He was going for a varial heel flip. I could do that trick when I was skateboarding. Ooh, fakey tray flip. I guess having those tricks help somewhat with learning stuff like frontside nose slide because I understand like the general mechanics. Oh, he out here for perfection. Make sure you like and subscribe to Don's channel. Like and subscribe to my channel. Man, spread the stoke. Much love. It's the Wing, baby. I'm out.